It was a colored chamber of commerce. And what they basically did was to get together and, yes, they would push the buying of poll tax, or once that the poll tax was over, getting people to sign up, and be registered to be voters, and really do a lot of that. We used to do a lot of door-to-door campaigning for not so much for individuals, but just to get people to go out and vote, go out and vote. Uh, Going door to door to even get people to fill out the poll tax, not the poll, the registration forms, and turn them in so that they would be registered voters. I think that probably we don't work as hard to do that now as we used to, because we really used to go from door to door and sign people up, so that, and on before voting day, that's all that you talked about. As far as the stores was concerned, on on the front of the store, there was a bench out there, and a lot of people would congregate. A lot of times you might have 6 or 7 ministers sitting out, laughing and talking, or talking about things that were going on in the city and what they needed to be mindful of and stuff like that. But as far as just being an activist, I wouldn't call it that. It was informational, and of course, back in the day, that was the way information was put out, because in most churches, the ministers would talk about and encourage their people to get out and vote, and sometimes even say, well, you need to vote for so-and-so, so-and-so. People would come to the churches and that were running for different offices and, ask for their support and say what they would like to try to do. Some of it was just a word, and some of them really worked hard to try to help the communities to be different or better.
So it was called the Colored Chamber of Commerce?
Uh-huh.
Did it ever expand outside of the store? Did it ever become its own
Oh,
proper
it had its own meeting place and everything.
But it started at the store?
Uh-huh. I wouldn't say it started there. It just was, if some of them met up there, they would stand around and talk, But they always had regular meetings, at a particular place. And to talk about different issues and what they needed to do about certain things, or even if the city was planning to try to get something going that they thought was not good for the black community, then they would get together and go to that city meeting, and speak up for what they felt like was important.
Did the store ever participate in I guess poll tax fundraisers, like actual, I don't know, parties or I guess cookouts or just anything like that was very
well, back in the day, it wasn't really as financial as it is now. As what I mean is, it didn't take a lot of money to run for something. It just took a person with the guts to run. If there was a financial need, people would just give. We didn't really have fundraisers, but they would just give out of their pockets to help them to do what they needed to do.
Last question. Well, actually, last question related to that. Did maybe local candidates ever leave a stack of flyers or bumper stickers or things like that, literature, pamphlets, brochures of their campaign
there?
At your father's store?
Yeah.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Do you recall any one particular that maybe sticks out for one reason or another?
Well, you know what? We had, there would even be some white people, other people running that would ask if they could leave or even put up something on the door or something, whereas people would, people would just, if you were for that person, now they didn't put up nothing if you weren't really behind them in the first place. You weren't going to get that kind of support. It's not just like people can say, well, here's, we'll pay you so much and so much, or, you're going to get this gift or whatever. No, that person it had to be somebody that my dad knew or felt like was going to do the right thing or something like that. No, you didn't, wasn't just going to be anybody.